Hello everybody, I'm Kid Deshawn. Welcome to my channel. And this channel is pretty much going to be about my journey for bottom surgery. Maybe I'll talk about other stuff, but this is just something that I wanted to do because I realized when I was looking for information, it was hard to find people that look like me. So it's been about coming up on 3 weeks since I've had surgery, so I'm going to do my best to remember the details and everything like that, and include any pictures or videos that I might have, and I'll add it into there. But just a little bit about myself. I'm 29. I've been transitioning since 2016, late 2016, and I live in Texas with my beautiful wife, blah blah blah. So I went to Dr. Santucci in Austin, Texas, at the Crane Center, and he's a really good, really nice guy. Very informative, very good at what he does, and he's just all around a good guy. Okay, so the first day I'm gonna do my best to stay in chronological order, but my mind is all over the place all the time, so I'm sorry in advance. So let's start at the very beginning of just getting up to the surgery. So originally I was going to go to Dr. Safer in San Francisco, which is also the Crane Center, but in San Francisco, and Brownstein and Crane, but because they didn't accept my insurance at the Austin location. And then, mind you, I got all this done during coronavirus. So, one day my therapist ended up calling me and saying that they now accept, my insurance in Austin. So I didn't even have to go to San Francisco, which is great for me because I live about an hour and a half away from the Crane Center. So that worked out for me. I saved a lot of money. But, you have to do your letters and everything of that nature, your therapy, your doctor saying that you have hormones, your therapist letter saying that you go to therapy and things of that nature, and they write a WPATH letter for you, and also maybe somebody that you don't regularly see, but they have a doctorate, so a PhD in psychology or whatever, and they write your third letter, and then you just send it over there, and once you send in all your letters, that's when you can get a date for consultation. So sorry, I'm also reading notes off of my phone. People texting me. But, so you get all that turned in, you can schedule your date or whatever. I happen to do mine over, video chat with Dr. Safer originally. So he had all my information. And, because I wasn't going to travel all the way to San Francisco for 20 minutes of, talking to the surgeon. And so they had that available for me. But when I did it in Austin, I didn't have to go through it again because I had already done it. They had all my information and everything, and I just got to pick which surgeon I want between Crane or Santucci. And they both have great reviews, but I went with Santucci, which actually I didn't even know, but Santucci actually taught Crane, and I prefer his method better because I'll get into it a little later, but he also puts a vacuum on your arm and, for suction and everything like that, which works, I think it works a lot better because I've seen what it looks like without the vacuum versus what it looks like with, and I think that I like the results of it with the vacuum, so I think I did a good thing. But anyway, all of that aside, so you get your consultation and everything, and then you, once you do all of that and talk to the surgeon, you decide on what date you want to get. Now, I picked as soon as possible because I was ready. You don't have to do it like that. You can schedule it out as far as you want. I'm sorry, I'm kind of losing my train of thought. It's gonna cost a lot of money. Well, my insurance covered mine, but they covered 90% of it, so I still had to pay my max out of pocket. Some people have great insurance, but they don't have to pay anything, and some people have insurance where they pay a lot more than the insurance pays. It just depends on what you have. So if you don't have insurance right now, you need to, if you don't have insurance right now, I would suggest calling around and seeing who is trans inclusive, because that's how you're gonna get it covered. I got it through my employer, so they're trans inclusive because I work for a company that is LGBT friendly. So yeah, so moving forward, sorry. Anyway, I was originally supposed to have my surgery May 1st, but again, talking about Corona, it ended up getting canceled, and that's with Dr. Safer. So that was good for me anyway, because later on I found out that they were taking my insurance in Austin, so I ended up changing the date to June 29th. I had my surgery June 29th. I ended up having to get a Corona test done, you know, a couple of days before that. I had that done on the 26th, and they'll tell you, if you don't hear from them, that's good. If you do hear from them, you're probably positive. So I didn't hear anything, so I didn't know what to do because all the Corona stuff, everything kept stopping. So like I said, I live in Texas, so they had again shut down all elective surgeries. So that Friday, which was the 26th, and I was having surgery that Monday. So I was freaking out. I didn't know what was about to happen. I didn't know if I should call the center or they should call me. Should I wait? Because I went on the website and they were like, if anything, we'll call you to let you know what's going to happen. Nobody contacted me. So I just I drove Monday morning there. My wife went with me, but I drove there. And she couldn't stay, so she just drove back home in hopes that, you know, everything was going to be all right. So now I can talk about the whole process, all right? So day one, like I said, I drove there. I had my bags with me because I didn't know what was going to happen, so I'd rather have bags just in case, even though I only lived an hour and a half away. And I walked in, you know, they took your temperature and stuff like that, make sure you're still, you know, under good conditions. You know, they tagged and bagged me. They took me to the back and put I had to strip my clothes off, put on the gown. You know, they put the little tape around your arm saying all your information and everything like that. Actually, I'm gonna back up. I'm gonna have to edit this, but I try to do my best to speak in how I want to speak without having to edit, but because my mind is all over the place, I already know that's gonna be a whole thing. But that Sunday, I had to bowel prep. That was one of the most irritating experiences of my life because I had a gallon. I didn't drink the whole gallon. I drank half a gallon of water, just to keep myself hydrated. And I had to get 32 ounces of Gatorade. If you can find a big 64 ounces, that's good, because you just pour the Miralax in there, and you don't have to worry about trying to put it. That's the right amount. But I couldn't find one, so I had to end up getting 32 ounces of Gatorade. And like I said, Miralax, and I had to pour that in there and to drink it, and it's gonna make you use the restroom. And I had to take 4 Dulcolax to you know, laxatives, and it was not a mess, but I waited for hours and hours and hours to use the restroom. Finally, when I did use the restroom, I couldn't stop using the restroom. So like I was saying, the Monday when I went to go to surgery, I had to use the restroom before I left the house, and then once I got to the hospital, I used the restroom again. And then once they took me to the back and made me switch my clothes and everything, and I had been sitting there, and they were, you know, they were putting my IV and stuff like that. Once they got done with all that and asking me questions and telling me, okay, basically prepping me on what's about to happen, I used the restroom again. And you know, you use your restroom till it's clear. Also, you had to use a enema until it was clear the night before. It was just the whole thing, and I don't ever want to do that again. It's a lot, but it definitely cleaned your system out. And I'm scared of laxatives and stuff like that because it makes my stomach just feel so uncomfortable. So anyway, moving forward, I was in there, a whole bunch of people come in there and talk to you. You got the anesthesiologist comes in there, the surgeon, he comes in last. You got the nurses coming there, they're checking on you and everything. Like I said, they put your IV in and they ask you a bunch of questions, you know. I filled my prescriptions before I even went to have surgery, because after you have surgery, you ain't gonna wanna do a whole lot. So I had one more bottle, which was of antibiotics, but I took them all. So this doesn't even look like all of them, but this is all the medicine that I have. I have muscle spasm, bladder spasm, stool softener, anxiety, nausea and vomiting medicine, regular Tylenol. I mean, I get generic because it's the same stuff. I think that's pretty much it. Yeah. And they give you all this stuff. Now, I don't like taking medicine, so for me, it was just, as you can see, this is ibuprofen. So this is still pretty much full. And, you know, this one is the muscle spasms, pretty much full. Like, I really don't take a lot of medicine because it's not my thing. But you get this whole thing of medicine. And, the only thing that you had to take was, you had to take the antibiotics. And that was the only thing you had to take. You should take everything else as needed. So the muscle spasms, the bladder spasms. I took a couple muscle spasms ones. I think I took maybe 2 bladder spasms altogether. I never took any of the anxiety medicine. I definitely took my narcotics. So I got Percocets. Well, I got generic Percocets, but same thing. And I take those a lot, but I'm starting to stop that now, because the more narcotics you take, the harder it is to poop. So if you're not, especially if you're not hydrating, because those narcotics, they take all the fluid out of your intestines, and fluid is what helps you pass your stools, you know, help you get all that out of you. And once you don't have any fluid in you, it becomes hard. So you have to keep hydrating. But okay, so once the surgeon came back and he talked to me, actually, I think I'm gonna stop this video and make another one, because I don't want to be too long-winded. I'm gonna probably just combine them all together.